Good afternoon and welcome back to Girded with Truth. Thank you so much for joining us today as we end off our exciting series, Time to Move On. God has really been speaking to me this week about moving on, and every word that I have spoken to you has also been a word that was spoken to me. So as we move on in God, He wants to let us know today that it's okay to let it all go. 1 Kings chapter 19 verses 19 to 21 says, So he departed thence and found Elisha the son of Shaphat, who was plowing with 12 yoke of oxen before him, and he with the 12th. And Elisha passed by him and cast his mantle upon him. And he left the oxen and ran after Elijah and said, Let me, I pray thee, kiss my father and my mother, and then I will follow thee. And he said unto him, Go back again, for what have I done to thee? And he returned back from him, and took a yoke of oxen, and slew them, and boiled their flesh with the instruments of the oxen, and gave unto the people, and they did eat. Then he arose, and went after Elijah, and ministered unto him. So here we see in the beginning of the mantle passing from Elijah to Elisha, because we know that God would have told Elijah when he was away in the cave to arise and go and anoint 3 people, and one of those 3 people was Elisha. And now he has thrown his mantle upon Elisha, and Elisha says, Just give me 1 minute to honor my parents, and then I'll come right back. And Elijah said, But I didn't do anything. You could go back if you want. You could do what you want. But Elisha has recognized that this is the moment he has been waiting on. He has recognized that it was time to move on. He decided to go back and tell his family goodbye. He was ready to part ways with them because of the call of God that was upon his life. And a lot of times we think that if we separate from our family members, or we go away from them, or we disconnect from them, it's a sign of dishonor. But I recommend to you today, once you honorably disconnect, and disconnection does not mean not speaking to them again. It just means that you are not as connected as you once were. It does not mean that you will completely cut off conversation with them. It just means that the way you once sat and spoke with them, the way you once connected to them, will not be there anymore. So here we see Elisha disconnecting from his family in order to pursue God. And I would like to say to you today, it's okay if you have to leave your family to follow God, because the call upon your life is so great, and God has called you away, be it for a while or be it for a prolonged period of time. He has called you into his purpose. And Jesus in another account would have said, if you are willing to let go of your mother, your father, your children, your blessings, your houses, will receive much more in this life and in the life to come. So here we are learning that it's okay to leave behind what was for what will be. Here we are learning it's okay to grab hold of the mantle that God has placed on your life. It's okay to go towards the call of God on your life, even if it means that your family will not be going with you. And Elisha here did not just leave. He went back to honor his parents. He went back to let them know, hey, I would not be with you any longer. And he honored them, and he went on with Elijah. Elijah was not waiting on him. Elijah just cast his mantle, and he was like, okay, if he take it, he take it. If he ain't take it, he ain't take it, because the work of God will never go undone. But Elisha was close enough to God to recognize, hey, it's my time. God has called me apart, and I'm headed into my destiny. Elisha honored his family and headed into his purpose. He immediately celebrated with his family and went towards the call of God upon his life. And it said he ministered unto Elijah, which means he served Elijah. The beginning of any calling is service. So God is calling you away from the things that you are connected to. So you have to disconnect from what was in order to get into what will be. And God is saying today, it's okay to let it all go. Luke chapter 9 verses 58 to 62 says, And Jesus said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not where to lay his head. And he said unto another, Follow me. But he said, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Jesus said unto him, Let the dead bury their dead, but go thou and preach the kingdom of God. And another also said, Lord, I will follow thee, but let me first go bid them farewell, which are at home at my house. And Jesus said unto him, No man, having put his hand to the plow and looking back, is fit for the kingdom of God. So we see Elisha being able to honor his parents and go forth. So what is the difference between Elisha and these people who would have asked Jesus why they can't go and bury their father or bid farewell to the people in their homes and things like that? Now, this account is after John the Baptist would have preached the kingdom of heaven is at hand. So here we are learning that we are closer to the time of the coming of Christ, or the returning of Christ. And Jesus says here, foxes have holes, birds have nests, but the Son of Man has not anywhere to lay his head. And he was simply saying that he did not have one particular place to lay his head. And this is tied back to the account where he told the disciples, do not take scrips for their journey, because wherever they are, provision is supposed to be there in that place. So he's saying here, he does not have one place to lay his head, because he is all about the Father's business. He's about working the kingdom. So he's consistently letting it all go in order to get into the next level of his destiny. Every step that Jesus took brought him closer to the cross. And the cross is why you and I are here today and can stand and say we are righteous and holy through Christ. When Jesus called the other man, he said, follow me. But the man said, let me go and bury my father. Is it that Jesus did not want him to bury his father? No. Jesus in this account was saying the things that are not kingdom-minded are not in the will of God. He's saying if you have a choice between grabbing hold of your destiny and burying someone who's dead, then the choice is walking into your destiny. Because we are on earth, right? So we are attached to earthly things. But when we look at a dead person, they do not have any life in them. Their soul has already departed. Their spirit has already gone on to be with the Lord. So this is a formality. So therefore Jesus is saying, don't be consumed with the things of this world. That is what he's really saying in essence. But instead, focus on the kingdom of God. Focus on the things of God and accomplish your purpose in the earth. Accomplish the reason why you were placed here. And he told them, let the dead bury their dead, and you go and preach the kingdom. Meaning to say, those who are not kingdom-minded, let them see about the affairs of the world. But you who have gotten an awakening as to your purpose, you who know what God has called you to do, go and preach the kingdom of God. Whether it is by words of preaching or whether it is by your lifestyle, whether it is through a business that God has established for you, or whether it is through a ministry that you have set up. No matter what it is, God is saying, preach the kingdom of God. And in the other case, there was this man who said, let me bid those who are at my house farewell. Why was Elisha allowed to bid his parents farewell but not this man? Is it because Elisha did not start his journey yet? So he was simply alerting his parents and his family to the fact that he was leaving into his destiny. But this man here would have started and he said, I will follow you. But let me first go back. So Jesus is saying here, if you begin your purpose, if you begin to walk into your destiny, and then you look back at these things that are just formalities, then you are not fit for the kingdom. And it is the same idea that Lot's wife had, why she became a pillar of salt. So God is saying, don't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Don't halfway get into your destiny. Instead, get into it with your whole heart and pursue the things of God. Because he's saying if you have 1 foot in and you're 1 foot out, then you are not fit for the kingdom. If you begin and then you turn back, then you are not fit for the kingdom. If God has given you a word and then you begin to believe it, but then you suffer from unbelief, then you are not fit for the kingdom. God is requiring us to walk in faith. He's requiring us to wholly follow him. He's requiring us to relentlessly pursue our destiny, all because we believe his word, all because we want to preach the kingdom of God. So today, I'm encouraging you, don't let anything delay your destiny. Don't let anything stop you from walking into destiny and pursuing your purpose. Instead, I'm saying it's okay to let it all go and walk into your purpose. God is saying today, it's time to move on, but you have to let it all go. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.